left, coincidentally, I now took in them because then I didn't have kids. So I just needed a break. I wanted to rest. But I think 6 months after, then I became bored and I needed to do something. So I now started looking around like, what can I start? I started checking around my environment. And my mistakes began from then. I noticed that I wanted to start selling beauty product or the rest because I noticed that shops around there didn't have a wholesale shop. I had money saved up because I had planned for the whole thing. Money was saved up and the rest for me to start. And that's how I ventured into it. Now, the retail side of the beauty business was doing very well. But, of course, people will come in with advice and the rest. It was my first attempt at entrepreneurship then. They were like, at the beauty salon, people can come in, make hair and the rest. I know the funny thing is that I didn't have any experience in running a salon, nothing at all. And that was one of the errors I made. And I started it, well, let's say like, and I had not just one, but I had two big branches and I struggled so much with it and eventually it failed. Now, normally what I would advise, because right now people come to me now like when they want to start out things and I'll ask them several questions to ensure that they know what they are doing and they're on the right path. Getting training, especially if you're not experienced in a particular field you're trying to venture into, try to get training from people that have been there so the mistakes will be minimal. It's not like we won't make mistakes. As human beings, yes, of course, we're going to make mistakes. The mistakes will be minimal. Now, for what I do presently, it was an idea that came. Like you said, during famine, different businesses are born. And for me, when I check the definition of famine, it's not just about shortage of food, but when there is scarcity, when you're experiencing limited resources in your life and different things, you begin to seek for other opportunities around you to grow, to scale, to make extra money, to make extra income. That's what I see farming as, not just shortage of food, but resources around us. So my foodie shop, I run two businesses concurrently. Sometimes you can even pass them as one. So I run my foodie shop and my agro limited, my foodie agro limited. So at my foodie shop, we sell groceries, fresh produce, dry produce, well packed for people to shop online, and then we have our physical location. And at my foodie agro, we provide agro support services to other food business owners. Now, how did I start my foodie shop? My foodie shop idea came when I was actually working in the bank. I was at 2009 and 2010. I needed, how bankers, our schedules are very tight, no time to do things on your own. And then I worked even Saturday and Sundays then because I was an ATM custodian. So you have to be available at all times to make sure the machines were functioning well. So I just needed somebody to help me shop. And at that time I went online, I was like, I should be able to find somebody to shop. And then I didn't find anybody as in Port Harcourt then. And I was like, why is there nobody to help do this simple thing for me? So I was like, maybe there'll be something in it. Then I just forgot about it. So after I left the banking sector and went into the beauty sector for a while, the idea was still there, but I just didn't know how to go about it because it was new, it was fresh as at that time. Even when I tell people, they'll be like, are you sure to buy fresh foodstuff online? No, it's not possible. And then I'll tell them it's possible. That's what we do. So when the Tony Elmelu Foundation program came up, I was like, okay, let me throw in this idea while I was still running the beauty business. And when it came out, it was successful. As in I scaled through it. I was like, okay, so let me just start. And without experience, I didn't just know anything about the grocery sector, but we started it. There were challenges, yes, but I was able to start. And at some point, it was so tough that I wanted to, yes, in fact, I dropped. There are so many times I stopped. I was like, no, I'm not doing again. But I picked up again and I continued. Now, some of the things that pushed me going were the customers. There's some of them, when they call, you'll be like, thank you so much. You're providing a service to me. You're offering value to me. You're helping me out. Those kind of words, I was like, oh, okay. So that means we're actually offering a value. And that's one thing, like when you start out, your goal, when you start out or when you see an opportunity, what you should look out for is, am I actually offering value to these people around me? the value I'm about to offer to them, is this something they are willing to pay? And then the problem or the solution I'm trying to solve, is it like a painkiller or a vitamin? You know, there are different types of solutions you can offer, like solutions that actually solve a problem to people, or the ones that make them feel good. There's nothing wrong with that, but you have to now know where your solution lies to know how to apply your solution to the different individuals. So, and like my friend said, great companies are built during tough season. And so that's how we started my foodie shop at an online store, purely online. And then one of the lessons I learned then was just to start. Don't wait to make things perfect to start. I remember one time when I started, I was badly struggling with the website. Even till now, I'm not a techie. So one day I kept telling customers, go and shop online, go and shop online. And one customer calls me and she says, I don't want to do website shopping. I don't understand what's happening on your website. Can I just send it to you through WhatsApp? Because I'm busy and I don't have, and these are the kind of people we're trying to target. You get, so she was like, I'm busy. Can I just send it to you on WhatsApp and send? And that was like, when the thing hit me, like, probably I've been trying to push my customers too much. Some of them are nursing moms, some of them are working class and the rest. In fact, we have people now that just scribble their orders on a sheet of paper, snap and send to you. So we just take care of the rest. Yeah, it might be a difficult process going back and forth. And there's some people that still prefer the website, yes, but it provides an avenue for you to be able to reach different kinds of audiences. Like they call them touch points. So at different touch points, you're able to meet like different customers. So there are some that just come on WhatsApp, drop their list, and then you just handle and deliver to them. And some others will just, I don't want to talk to anybody, let me just order through the website. And so it's for you to like understand how you approach your customers. So I remember in 2017 to 18, I had terrible setback, different issues. Like I said, I didn't plan for it. Our finances, in fact, the salon wrecked my finances and we went into debt. And that's where I learned a lot of things about business. In fact, it made me tougher. I was kind of soft-hearted. Then my staff then would say, Madam, your heart too soft. Not be like this, they do this in salon business. So you get to get strong mind. But that experience made me tougher. So right now, I'm better positioned to run this business I do. So that's how we started my foodie shop. And I remember then when we go to like talk to people about delivering fresh food, so they'll be like online. That was at 2018 then. We were just very few of us doing it. But we kept pushing. At the time I wanted to I was like, no, this thing is too tough. I want to stop. And then what happened? COVID happened. I was at home saying, what else will I do? And then my manager then, when I was in First Bank, she calls me. She said, Francisca, I hope you're not slacking this time. This is when your business is supposed to boom. So better get up. I was like, ma, that business, are you sure? She said, no, people are looking for where to get fresh food produce, and this is what you do. You don't have to give up now. So that's where I now got up. We began to take all the precautions. At that time, they told us, use salt water. And I didn't use salt water, actually, but the ginger, the lemon, the garlic, all of those things we did at that period to keep us safe. But COVID now provided an avenue for other people to now discover that there was a market in this sector, because we now had influx of other businesses coming into the grocery and delivery chain. So many people now started delivering grocery. And the thing about it is that the barriers to entry is quite low. So with your mobile phone and then data, you can actually start up the business. It's quite easy. So during COVID period, that's when people were able to start up the whole business and rest. And the good thing is that customers pay you first before you do anything. So by the time you finish complying, so funding wasn't really a challenge for us then starting it up. But of course, you will need funds for other activities you need to do. And so that's how we kickstarted my foodie shop again, and then we started growing it. Now, how did we get into my foodie agro? I had accessed because another thing I do is that I try to seek out opportunities when they come in, and I look out for those opportunities. I've been able to assess about 3 grant opportunities and order so many trainings that even though they don't give you funding, but the trainings prepare you and make you a better entrepreneur. And some of them are sponsored by different kinds of organizations. And that's one thing I do on my own personally to seek out those opportunities to help me grow. Now, for one of those opportunities, I got a dehydrator that I was using for my personal business, because then we'll have to like extra dry the fishes because if the person is traveling with them to make sure they are okay. So one day somebody calls me up and she was like, ah, Francisca, I heard you have a dehydrator. I said, yes. She said, please, can I use it? I want to dry some things. I said, it's for personal use. I don't rent it out. And she was like, please, I need to dry something. And I said, okay, you can come, but I don't even know what to charge you because I don't use it for external. And that was the first time somebody was even asking me to help her dry something because I didn't see the opportunity in that particular business. Yeah. So, and I said, okay, come and dry. And I asked her, so where you go to, how much do they charge you? She told me. I said, okay, I'll take that. It's an extra funds for my business. So she came back another time, I want to dry again. I was like, okay, do you put dry this often? And it wasn't what I was doing, like fish. She wanted to dry snail and periwinkle. I don't do those things. So, and then after that, she now told other people, and people now started calling me. And I was like, it's like there's an opportunity in this. So I started asking questions and realized that people who do some export products and the rest actually need dehydrators to dry their food produce to go. So, and that's when I now said, oh, okay, so that means there's something in this. And then we now start like offering that service to people and the rest. And we start learning in the process. So from one dehydrator, we have two. And there's a third one coming in now. And so that's what we offer in my Fuji Agro. So I now realized from the experience that there were lots of people, because after 2020, so many people came into the business sector. Some people lost their jobs, so they needed another source of income. So they were not coming in, but the issue is that the cost of equipment was quite high for them. For me, it was something I had. I had access to grant that helped me to buy most of these equipment and the rest. So what I did was I started teaching some of them that, look, you can actually apply for these grants and get them. But you know, some people, some of the issues I had with some of them are my friends. They'll be like, please help me apply for the grant now. Please help me write. And I'm like, the process is quite tedious, but if you push through to the end, sometimes you can be successful and sometimes you'll not. Yes, there's a particular training program like I have applied for, I think 3 times. It was the 4th time I now got in. And when I got out there, man, who sent me? It was quite, I'm still in the program, but it's quite rigorous, it's tough and the rest. But it is that it makes you better because I now see some things they train us there, and then my friends will come and ask me, how did you know this thing? I'll be like, is this training program? They say, carry me along now. And I'll be like, well, I told you about these programs, but you didn't apply for them because, yeah, the process is rigorous, but you have to push through the dedication and everything to push through this program. So what I do personally for myself is, at the end of the year or at the beginning of the year, these are the period that opportunities come out. There are international organizations that come in, they want to support businesses and the rest. So I look out for those programs. In fact, I set up a Google alert on my email, so I get alerts for grant opportunities or training opportunities. So when it comes in, I just check and say, okay, is this something I'm interested in? I just throw in all the applications. Some of them will tell you no, and then before you know it, you can scale through some and then get access to these trainings. Like I said, the trainings offer you lots of opportunities, and then you get to meet other entrepreneurs. There are people I know in other countries. We're in the same WhatsApp group, so you have issues, you have people you can run to, you have people you can talk to, people you can collaborate with. So that's the beautiful thing about all of these trainings. So most times my friends will make fun of me. I'll be like, is there anything that you like? If I need something now, and I ask you, you always have somebody that knows somebody. And I'll be like, man, I find them in a WhatsApp group where you just have to ask and somebody knows something about it. So it's not like I know everything, but it's just these associations, these meetings, these exhibitions. I like to attend some of these events, even though now I'm now trying to like scale down a bit on them to focus on actually growing the business, because now there are lots of activities to do within. So, but these kind of activities help you to interact. So it's not about working in isolation. Try to like go out, meet people, interact with other people around you. So you help you exchange ideas and help you grow better. So and that's how we started my Foodie Agro. So at my Foodie Agro, I now realized that most of the people coming into the sector had issues with the equipment they needed to like start their business, their food business. They were struggling with it and the rest. So I was like, okay, probably we can just set up a separate company to provide support to these people to help them grow. And that's how we now set up my Foodie Agro. So some of these people in food processing sector that don't have the equipment to start up, they can come use our space, use our equipment to process their food products and then export or sell to their customers. And then we also have the vacuum sealing machines and other machines that we intend to add in the process. So that's how we started. For us, I began to see the opportunities in the sector. Now, when we started the grocery delivery space, one of the challenges we had was logistics. Then it was an issue for us because then as at 2017, it was quite difficult. Most of the delivery companies will tell you, I don't deliver food. We only do packages, but we don't do food. So it was an issue for us. Then I had to like use my car, the former one, doing the deliveries and the rest. Then by the time we now started, it was in during COVID period that other people now discovered there's an issue with logistics and the rest. And we had other people coming in. And they were now everywhere. And it was not easier for us. But now another challenge now hit. I think we can now place a ban on delivery bikes and now made it so difficult. In fact, so many businesses, a lot of friends, most of them shut down their businesses because they couldn't meet up again. It was a tough period. But other people found opportunities in it and then began to grow. And now fuel scarcity has come. In fact, that one is the one that even hit us most because at that time you could do a delivery for 500 naira, 600, 700. But now the least, in fact, even to get 1.5 within your location is difficult. The list is now 2,000 naira and rest. And we're saying, what's the issue? Now you now have people, if I want to now order for maybe a custard bucket of a particular product, and by the time you calculate the delivery fee, you'll be like, does it make sense? Let me go and look for that. So what did we now do? We started offering like combo products. So by the time you like buy lots of things from us, the delivery fee is now smaller. It looks smaller to you compared to the total amount of products you're offering. Now there's something this company is doing, Chowdeck. One day my husband came back and showed me a flyer that he picked from Welcome You Supermarket. He was like, Chowdeck is coming to your sector. And at the time I was like, if they come, they have more budget, they have funding and the rest, so they are big. And so I now thought of it. I said, no, it will be good for our sector because why? What Chowdeck is offering, they have the platform, they have the software, but they need people like us because sometimes you see this challenge, you now become afraid, be like, these people are going to compete with us. That's the worry my husband had, like, these people are going to kick you out of business. So they are coming to grocery delivery here in Port Harcourt. You guys cannot compete. They have higher budget than you do. And I looked at him and I said, no, that Chowdeck, they don't have we have the physical infrastructure, the product they need and the rest. They need people like us that source and package this product. They need people that are reliable. And that's one of the challenges I experienced when I started at first. I wanted to just run a platform business where I have to partner with other business owners to do the deliveries. But now one of the challenges I began to experience was quality product, authentic product. Yes, so we're still having that issue. And I was like, no, because I'm someone that if I tell you that this is real and this is real, I know that that's what I'm delivering to you. So I was like, okay, I have to look at where my strength lies. And then so I took a step back to say, okay, I know we can source this and we can package it. Now, so let's take a step back. And I began to find partnership. And that's where that works. So like the oil we sell comes from a milling company. They seal, they package, they do everything. So we just focus on delivering sales to our customers. So at every time I tell them, yes, we know the source of this oil because the person in charge also has that vision of producing standard products. So he's certified and the rest. So he focuses on manufacturing while we handle the sales and distribution for him. So there are areas for partnership and the rest to seek opportunity in partnership. So you don't struggle with the business trying to do everything because I notice sometimes when people come in, they want to like do everything from beginning to the end. And then you have limited resources. You are now stretched so much that your resources cannot like reach out to all of the departments and you see them struggling. And sometimes I tell them, why don't you just partner with this person instead of trying to do all of this on your own? Now, I have friends, logistics is not an issue, you can do it. But I've told them that I don't want to go into logistics because I don't have that energy to manage. There are lots of logistics companies I can partner with. But I have people that decide to go get the bikes. You're in grocery delivery and then you're doing the logistics and then she's not complaining, this side is draining money from my business because the guy is not covering up. I have to pay him from here and she's struggling. And then I tell her, you can actually partner with other logistics company and they offer you a fair deal. And that's what some of them are doing. At this time when things are difficult, they come in with different offers. Because what I'm saying all of this is when you notice challenges that different people are experiencing, you now decide to say, okay, how do I offer offer solutions to help out these particular businesses? And that's what we have been doing. And that's what I've noticed other people doing in the logistics chain. So then I say, okay, we can also offer you for every 5-10 rides you do with us, you get a discount. So that helps us to say, okay, we can actually work with this group. We can actually work with this group to help us. So your attention is not now divided to, okay, let me start running. Transport business is actually different from running a grocery delivery business. And also I tell them because sometimes it distracts you from the core activity you're supposed to like perform. So what else? Okay, so for opportunities and the rest, most times I tell people when you come in, you try to find out where the opportunities lie. If you have limited resources, then try to niche to help you apply those resources better. And that's what we have done. Then you look out for like opportunities or the trends that are growing. So what we have realized now is that because of the Japa syndrome, people are actually traveling. There's an increased demand for Nigerian products going out. And so that's why we're now like investing in the agro support services sector, bringing in the machines to support these business owners, because I noticed that that's a big challenge for them. Buying one dehydrator, it will cost you between 4 to, depending on the size, there are smaller one, 4 to 700. There are some as high as 1.something million naira to get in a dehydrator. And those kind of equipment are actually very expensive. We started with the locally fabricated one, and I had people too who struggled with that. But today, through the services we offer to them, and that's what gives me joy, they were able to start up, make money, make profit, and they were able to buy their own dehydrator. So I have like 4 or 5 business owners that started with us that now have their own machines and are now processing and sending out their own products through that. And one thing I do is that my friends say I'm too liberal with information, but I believe that the sky is big enough for us. I can't even serve everybody in Port Harcourt, how much more other countries. So I'm liberal with information, and I tell them, do this, do this, do this. I had a case where a young girl came to me like she wanted to dry some things, and she listed the products she wanted to dry. And then I asked her, okay, how much do you want to pay? She now said it's 20,000. She wants to just buy small ginger, curry, thyme. She wants to start this business. And then she's in her bar. After everything, we should ship to her. And I looked at it. I was like, if I take this money from this girl, I'll be doing her this service, because she will not be able to compete with other people. So I now called her and I said, sincerely, if I do this for you, you won't be able to sell this product. One, you're buying very small quantity for us to dry. By the time I finish it, your cost of production is going to be high. You're not going to meet up, and you cannot compete favorably. I have friends that sell spices, and I know how much they sell theirs. If I dry it for you and do this, you cannot compete. So just go back and think about it. So I don't want, and by the time I told her, she went back, and she came back and told me, thank you so much. And then she had to like re-strategize and branch into another sector. It's still in the food sector. And then she started on that kind of business. And that's one thing we offer, the support services that we offer. Because when I started the grocery delivery business, we didn't have like where to run to, who to ask questions. We were just very few that started then as far back to 17. We were just like doing trial and error. And right now, like we have understood the business. So I now see new people coming into the sector and they ask questions, and I'll be like, no, do this way, do this way, do this way. Instead of stretching yourself and then getting frustrated, because most of us got frustrated at the initial time. But thank God we're now able to like overcome, and then we're a bit more stable now. Now, this is like the story, like my challenge and what I've gone through. When I ran the salon, I didn't have any experience. The truth is that I didn't even have interest. Okay, let's say I just started it and decided to develop interest in it. I didn't have interest in it. Imagine till now, I don't even know how to retouch a hair. Meanwhile, I ran a salon for close to 4 years. It was something I just wasn't interested in. But I saw the opportunity, because then I noticed that there were lots of smaller salons around there, but there wasn't a wholesale shop. And that was what I wanted to do at first, to just run a purely wholesale shop to cater to this. Exactly. But you know, people started, no, if you do salon, you make more money and this. And then I now realized that was the error I made in starting up my business, trying to listen. So sometimes you just have to like listen for yourself, pray about it. And that's one thing I do now, to pray about situations, and don't just jump into it. Even if you want to start small. Yes, another error I made was, because I had money, I saved up before I left the banking sector. I started big, and then when I crashed big. I lost everything, and it threw me into debt. And we had to now struggle like to pay off the debt and the rest. So you can start small, especially for a terrain that you're not too clear about, you don't know so much. Start small so you can learn from the process. So even if you make mistakes, you won't be so drained. So we're so broke in such a way that I was now struggling to, I said, who sent me message and the rest. And when imagine when you were working in the bank, you had money extra. In fact, you were able to give to people, and now you're now the one struggling, going here and there to borrow to sort out issues. But thank God we're able to scale through. And then one of the things that pushed me through was that's when I now actively started searching for grant opportunities. In fact, my friends then, they know me used to call me Madam Grant, because then I just go out and I look for these opportunities. The truth is that they are out there and you can actually find them. I have friends that teach about those things. The thing is that I find teaching quite, I don't know, like say stressful or something. So most times I just tell people apply for this. But there are people that actually teach these things. And one thing I tell people is, before you maybe apply for somebody's training, make sure that the person knows what she's talking about or he's talking about and has done it, gone through it, made the mistakes and the rest. So there are people like Ticc Riobu. I've met her in so many trainings. She teaches about grant opportunities. Yes, I've seen her at AWE. She's a Tony Melu, an alumni in Tony Melu Foundation, and then with other programs. So those people, they know it. When I see what they tell, like anybody applying for her training knows it. Now, another opportunity I've seen is this woman taking advantage is Choma Ifanye, the data entry. I've also gone through that training because when I started my business, yes, I worked in the banking sector, but I didn't read banking and finance. I didn't read accountants. I read microbiology. So, but when you come in, they just train you, tell you this is what you do. You key in this to get this result and the rest. It's not like you know exactly what's happening. So it was when I started my business and I realized, look, I have to understand my numbers. I need to know, because when you go for these funding opportunities, they want to be sure that you know your numbers, you understand your numbers. And that's what some of these training programs do for you. When I attend these programs, they teach you how to prepare your financial model, how to prepare your business plan, and how to prepare your pitch decks to be able to present. So they teach you all of these processes. And that's one thing I like about her training. So I began to, because I knew that I understood numbers, but I wanted to know why this is this and why this is that. So I began to take training and take some lectures and attend some training programs on bookkeeping. So right now I do my bookkeeping, but I'm not an auditor. So at the end of the year, I transfer. So I make it easier for the auditor. So I just give them the records on what they do. So when they ask me, and that's what I tell some of my friends, like, it's quite easy for you to do. So some of them just come to me and be like, I'm having challenges and challenges this. It's not because I read accountancy or what. It's due to the years of study of that I've done over the years. And then I like what she's doing now, because now she's beginning to train people on data entry. And that's where one opportunity lies, because there are lots of small business owners that don't know how to keep their books. I used to tell myself that if not for my foodie shop, like I run my foodie shop now, I think I would have even gone into probably bookkeeping for small business owners, because most of them struggle with that. And I see some accountants, they come in and they want to charge exorbitant amount to these people. Why not like set up a basic listing for these small business owners and tell them, okay, this is how you keep your records. And then at the end of every week, I'll come and pick it from you and just fix it for you. It's not like audit. Most of them run small businesses, enterprises, so you can actually help them do the bookkeeping. There are opportunities in that sector for small business owners who need help with keeping proper records and auditing their books. That one is for auditors and accountants, but bookkeeping is an area that is actually in demand for us, because I have friends that actually ask for help in doing all of those things. And then also watch out for trends, like I've mentioned, watching out for trends. I said the Jabba syndrome opened up an opportunity. I also mentioned something about Child Deck. Sorry, I forgot. Now, Child Deck is coming into our sector. For me, I see it as a good thing. They have the platform and they work. And now what Child Deck has done is to make delivery cheaper for the customers, and then they will also give us access to market, because they have resources. They have people in different locations that can actually handle this. Because what we struggle with then, you see that somebody at Choba will now meet you at Woji and say, okay, I want to buy food produce. And by the time you check the delivery fee, it's about 3,000, 3,500. It's so high. So now what Child Deck is doing is they try to partner with businesses within that location. So if an order is coming, the closest business to that location handles that that particular order, and then the customer might end up paying either 500 or 1,000 naira for that delivery so that the cost is now reduced. The customer is able to purchase what they want to buy. And then the business owner around that particular location will also do it. We have somebody from Recruiter that buys, but of course he keeps buying because yes, there are some services you render, and there are some people be like, no, if it's not my food shop, I don't want to buy any other place. You get so, but that's what solution that they are trying to provide in helping to say, okay, let's reduce the cost of logistics. I know there are some people that have tried to do it in the past, trying to like build a platform that brings together different logistics companies so that if you're in Woji, you don't drive empty from Woji to, say, Rumola to go and pick up an item. Somebody wanted to build that, but I think he struggled with it, so he now shut down this in the platform. The platform is supposed to be a place where people like us post like, okay, I have a delivery leaving Woji going to Rumola. Is there any rider around Woji that can pick up? So it makes it easier for them. Their cost of operation is also reduced. They don't spend money on, because by the time the bike starts running back, fuel and the rest, it's happening. So that's what some of us need to look out for. And then, like I mentioned, the logistic chain. Now, another thing we offer for our own sector, and other people also do it, is drop shipping services. There are women at home. Yes, you have a nursing, you have a baby, you're nursing, and you still want to do business and the rest. So we provide them with the opportunity and say, okay, we can help you, actually help you drop ship. Just market, and there are people that do that, market your product and the rest, then let us know what it is. We put those items together. We don't even need to know where the customers are. You send your own logistics partner to come and pick up and then deliver. And so they are just there at home with their phones selling, but they don't have any inventory, they don't have any stock. They just rely on people like us to help them put those things together, and they pick, make their commission, and they now deliver. So that's the opportunity there in dropshipping. I know some people do it in other sectors, in the clothing sectors and the rest. So they do it. So like I said, now we're going through a challenge. And for us, what we'll start to do is to see, how do I harness this challenge? Like the petrol is so expensive, light bill is so high, and the rest. It's for us to now sit there and say, okay, instead of just complain, because what I do most times is that I try not to complain or engage in all those kind of discussion, but I start thinking, okay, how do I make it easier for myself or easier for other business owners? And that's why it just, my food agro seems to be like the one closer to my heart, because I see it as an impact-driven organization where I can help somebody else start up their business, be able to earn revenue, and then be able to support themselves. That's why that one is closer to my heart. And we can also do that in this situation and say, okay, how can I support? Because lots of people, I know that people are going through a lot, and it's so difficult most times. Even the resources you have is not enough to like go through everything you need to cover, and then we'll have to now start looking at it. And then if you have experience in farming, you have land, even if you don't want to do it, there are people you can partner with. There's somebody I follow on Facebook, Samson Ogbole, and I'm so impressed with what he does and the rest. And sometimes they try to invite like state government to say, they don't need to pay us, but if you have people, we can come train them on farming, on how to set up greenhouse farming. And he's doing so well. And I'm like, if only these people can see, there are people that they can support. Instead of just giving handouts and telling people, come, let's empower you. And at the end of the day, they share dryers and the rest to them. So it doesn't make sense. So there are better ways to do it. But we as individuals can still continue to push and do what we can. Then finally, for me, prayer is so key for me in everything I do. So as much as we strategize and plan for everything, we still have to put everything in prayer and then commit it to the hands of God. And that's one important thing to me, yes, to commit everything, and then when you're solving a problem, to do it genuinely, because I see some people try to do some things and I be like, this money you're trying to make, I don't know, money is good, but don't do it at the expense of other people's So we can do it, but let's genuinely try to solve these problems. Praise God. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I'm sure everybody has questions. Yes. I'm sure a lot of persons have questions. Okay. Wow. I learned a lot from what you said, and I'm also in your line. So I have questions for you, plenty questions. Because I want to become big like you one day. Yes. And I'm sure every other person has questions or contributions. If you do, please let me see your hands up. I trust that you always have questions.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I don't know whether my own is a question or what. You said a lot of things. Anybody that listens knows that a lot of things have been said. At the same time, a lot of people like me may not have heard anything. So, can you, in a very simplified way, tell us the nature of your business? Yeah, I don't know what I'm understanding myself. Exactly. What do you do? You say you network, you dry, so you can tell us, okay, I get this product, I process it, people buy it from me by calling, by this. I think maybe, I don't know, maybe my brain is not working very well, but
Okay. Okay. It's working. It's working. Okay. So my apologies. So like I said, I run my foodie shop. I said it initially. So it's a grocery store. We buy fresh produce. We buy other packaged produce. We process and package. So let me say for busy moms, those are ones like yam, tomatoes, and the rest. We help them shop those items, package, and deliver. Then for processing, like I mentioned, we can actually buy vegetables, we dehydrate them, package for those that are traveling. We also package like seafood and the rest for those that are traveling. I have a particular woman we process like plantain flour for her. She doesn't like buying plantain flour from outside, so we process and dry peel, dry meal, and then package, and that's for personal consumption. So that's what we do at my Foodie Agro. It's like a processing unit. But in that set, we also provide support services where people can use our facility to also process their own products. Yes, traveling. Instead of just waiting to buy your own equipment, you can actually come use this thing. So it's like an additional this thing. So for my foodie shop, it's just like a normal grocery store where you order different kinds of food products, rice, beans, the rest. So you can actually stay at home, we deliver to you, or you can walk into our store, buy and go. Yes. So we're on WhatsApp, we're on Instagram, and we're working on our website currently. It has,
Okay, thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. Okay, there was a time I started a bakery shop, a bakery business. I was baking bread and the likes. How do you cope with maybe NAFDAC and things like that? Because one of the things that made me to shut down the business was because of this fear of meeting up NAFDAC requirements, which I was not able to.
okay.
So that's one. The second thing I want to ask is, as you were speaking, there are some ideas that came to me that I would like to also explore further with you after here.
Okay,
Thank
thank you. Okay, so for NAFDAC, the products I sell mostly have NAFDAC products already. So that's why I said I like to partner with people, the palm oil and the rest, so I don't bother with NAFDAC. Even though the new one we have now, we might need to now go for NAFDAC certification. That's the agro, this is for the facility. For those that now want to use our facility to like process and the rest, you can now use our facility. For the NAFDAC, it's like a hurdle we just have to pass because I have friends that have gone through it. But one thing that happens is that some of these organizations we belong to help us to get rebates from NAFDAC. So that's why I talked about networking and the rest, like meeting up. I know one time where there's this on AWE. Then I was trying to like get DHL to work with DHL for logistics and the rest. It was through AWE that we were able to register with DHL. They gave us rebates because of them. So whatever they charge us is actually cheaper than what they charge normal people because you're an SME and we came in through them. So they now like verified us. And there are other like opportunities, organizations that you join that now help you like to bring down the cost and they say, okay, we will take off some of the debt for you and the rest. But if you don't have some of those things, then we'll have to now struggle to pay some of those fines by NAFDAC and the rest. So it's it's just a challenge.
Any more questions, please? We have more questions.
much. Honestly, you said a lot, and it's only someone who hasn't tried to do business that may not understand what you're saying, especially when you talked about starting small. So you learn as you grow, and also not waiting for everything to be in place before you start. Because if you do that, you will never start. Yes. So I want you to specifically talk about the salon, what really happened, the mistakes and all of that. Because why I want to talk about this is you may see something you are interested, just jump in, but you don't know here and there. So if you can just share with us the how it happened and how you lost it.
Okay, so for the salon, like I said, I started with the product session, and that one was doing very well. Now it was when I now decided to like add the salon part that I now started having issues. Now one of the issues was I now started try to start big. So instead of like starting with one person or two, I was like, I need to keep four. So when people come to braid, because one thing I wanted to do is that I don't want you to waste time when you come and try when you want to braid. I had like four people, so they will just come attend to you and the rest. But I was now struggling with discipline. For those girls, they are quite stubborn. Like if you're not strong enough to handle them and the rest. And me just coming out, I was kind of soft-hearted. If I'm to start it again, there are some things I allowed now that I allowed then that I won't allow now. So then I was kind of, okay, and like their punishment, sometimes you deduct from their salaries. It makes them sit up. So at that time, when I try to do, they'll be like, man, now, please, now, this is my money now. If you come out, me, I'll start feeling for them. And I'll say, okay, I'll pay you your money. Then the person will repeat it again, and I'll still give you your money. You repeat it again, I'll still give. But and for me, I was just looking like, this is your salary now. If I now remove this money, how much will now remain? But if you start being disciplined, or if you start providing that discipline, that punishment, they will sit up the next time. So I was too lenient with them, like allowing them do what they want to do and the rest. And then secondly, I struggled because I didn't have interest. There are some things I didn't understand about how salons operate. I wish I had gone somewhere to learn first, not how to make it, but the operations of salons, so I will now understand exactly the process. And then another mistake I made was opening a second branch, because I saw another location that would have been good for it, and I opened in a big way. Now, I didn't have structure. Structure is very good in your business, so that if you're here, the other place will be running well. So I found myself running from here to there, and the rest. So it crashed because I couldn't oversee both of them. So right now, I have better structure. And if I'm not there, I know what's happening. I've set things in place, and I know, okay, this person is supposed to do this, and then she will get back to me. So structure was lacking in the salon. So I was running up and down and doing this and doing that. And then I think I had too many staff. There are some people that were redundant, but because I didn't want, like, for the customers that come in, okay, because I want them to like braid quickly and go, and I had too many people. And then we're not offering too many service that, and I said, okay, this person is the nail technician, this person is for hair, this person is for this person is for that. And then at the end of the day, the services that they offer is not covering what they're supposed to pay. So I would not have to take from the sales section to start paying them. So that was the mistake I made. So at the end, I said, no, it's not going to work out. So I shut down one. And then towards the end, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. Let me probably go and think of, because then the idea for the grocery had always been in my mind, even before I started the salon. But I was like, okay, maybe later. I don't know how to go about this grocery delivery business. It's just new, fresh food stuff. How do I do it? But it was after I got the grant from Tony Elimelu and the training program, I was like, okay, I think it's time for me to start. Let me just dabble into it and start it and the rest. And so I just... when I now started that one, I decided, okay, it was time for me to close down this so I can now focus purely on the delivery business, grocery delivery business. Yeah.
No. So you've answered a part of it. You said one of your business, I don't know if it's your first or second business, so you said you started big, and when you failed big. So my question is, how did you get up, and what did you do in order to recover back?
So, like I said, it threw me in so much debt. At the time, I had to borrow. I was borrowing to do so. Like I said, the grocery delivery business doesn't require so much funds. So that one you can actually start with your phone. And then I had access to grants. That's what I mentioned. It was the Tony Elu grant that gave me the grace to start. Then after that grant, I'm able to access more grant. That's why I told you, because I didn't have resources, I had to go online to start searching for where can I get free money. Okay, if I don't have free money, can I go and borrow? I know I have friends that say, no, I can't take loan from the banks. But I take loans, but what I do is that you calculate your interest and make sure that your cost and your profit, is able to cover the interest you're paying on that loan. I don't do microfinance banks because their interest rates are outrageous, so it won't really support a business. So what I try to do is to, at worst case scenario, I go to the commercial banks and I do quickly and pay them off when I have bulk funds. But grants has been one of the things keeping me going. And then my personal funds, like whatever I get, I put into the business. Of course, everything is going back into the business. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I hope you got clarity. Okay, so another question. How do you know you are in the right track of a particular business or you are meant to do business?
Okay, that's for me. I would say it depends on your personality and your passion. Like my husband is not a business person. Anything you like, tell him. He will tell you no. He's this loyal employee, and he will give you. He will deliver and do it well. For me, I'm this kind of person. I can't do one thing for a long time. I get bored, so I want to move on to the next thing. So you have to check your personality type. Like I know when we were going through tough time, there was a time he lost his job. So like the business was the only thing keeping us, my food shop. It was quite tough for us. The business struggled because all the expenses were running from the business. So I kind of told him, okay, I have small funds. Why not start up business? And he said, I don't even know what to start. I was the one giving him ideas. I'm seeing this, I'm seeing this. And he's like, no. So eventually he was called back, and that is it. I see that his joy came back, and I know that he's just an employee. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it and I'll deliver well. Like he's excellent at that. So you have to know your personality type and the rest. And there was one time when we were going through that tough time, okay, I now paused the business. Let me go and work to get more funds. Because actually, that's another thing I forgot to mention. I went back to work. There was a time I paused the business because business could no longer carry all of us. I had to pause to go back to work briefly before I came back to do the business because my heart was there. There are some people you go back and they want to stay there. But I just felt, no, I would do more if I run a business. It's not like the hassles in business sometimes will make you want to cry. Like a few days ago when the whole fuel thing came, I was like, what is this? I was quite overwhelmed. I felt so bad. But you have to know yourself. At the time, I'll be like, no, I think I'm done with doing, and there's nothing wrong with doing 9 to 5. You just realize where your strength lies, if it's something you want to do, and then you now focus on it purely. So it depends on you as a person, your personality, and then your passion. Exactly. So you look at it and then see. If it's not working, you can shut down and go back to paid employment. There are people that do that and they are happy. Or you try something else. You must not continue to do that. The salon, it was one day I kept struggling. Like I was like, no, I've invested too much in this salon. I can't let it go. Then one day my husband came and he now gave me, because he reads a lot and he listens to podcasts a lot. What he does for me is that he listens to either business podcast. He now tell me, listen to this, it will help you. So one day he now told me about sunk cost. And when I now read, I was like, So I was like, because I have put in too much money, I didn't want to let go of the salon, but it was bleeding me. It was draining me. And I was like, no, I've put in money. I must see the head and tail of this business. And he now told me, why not just let it go and start this routine that has been in your head since? I say, but see the money I've put. See all the equipment I have. He said you can start afresh. So one day I now woke up. In fact, my staff, they were surprised. I said, I'm not doing it again. All of you go. I started selling off the equipment and the rest. So it's about your personality and you check what you can do. Yes, thank you.
What I want to add to it is also what comes to your mind. Sometimes when you go around, you see some problems like, how will this be solved? Or you think about it, that people are not doing okay, and I want to do something about it. That is how you know that you are called to do that particular thing. And you see that when you put your hand in it, you do so well. Another thing is also what pulls your potential. You put your hand, you see that something is coming out of you. Even things you never knew were there inside of you. That's how you get to know that that's what you're supposed to be doing.
Thank you. And just to also add, what is that thing you are willing to do and not get paid? Because if it's for money, you will give up immediately, it's not making money. But if it's passion driving you, whether it's making money or not, you find your heart going back to that thing. Many of us get into business because of money. And the honest truth is that you will weary out, you will get tired, and you will give up. But if you offer a service because you are passionate about, I tell people, somebody like me, if you put me in the fashion space, I will do well. Because I like fashion. But there are some things you just bring my way. Even listening to you, I'm tired. There is nothing you will tell me that I'll really be excited about that. She's talking about agro. There must be a passion she has in that space. Ask her deep. It may not be in the farm. It may be in the kitchen. That may be just where her passion lies, and the idea of people making good food is what's driving her. What's driving you? Is it money or is it impact? That's really the difference. Thank you.
So I'm also going to, I'm going to add to that too. So I started business, but before business, I was working. But while I was working, first of all, you need to discover yourself. She mentioned that. So while I was doing my IT, doing school, I realized that I don't like to sit in an office chair. I don't like it. I'm always up and about. I go to offices, I don't want to sit one place. So I told myself, I said, no, I know I can't work in an office for a long time. So after school, or rather, when I was done with my IT then, as I was going back to school, I had to buy jewelries and perfumes to sell for my friends. And I saw that I made money. I said, okay, this is good. And I kept doing that. So whenever I'm coming back to Nigeria, I buy clothes and sell to people here. And then when I'm going, I buy jewelries and sell to people there. So I was just doing that. And then I finished school. I started working, but every day I was going to work. It's as if I was being pushed, you know. So you will work yourself to the last, but they will not appreciate it. So at some point, I told myself, I need to get out of this place. So I thought of going back to school. So I started my master's. While I was doing that, I thought about it. Okay, I can't just be, doing school. I need to think of something else. So I thought of food. I started catering. I would cater for people, occasions, and all that. And then gradually, when the COVID hit, the year COVID hit, as at March, I was booked for September already. But when the COVID hit at March, I had to start refunding monies, and I was devastated, really. But my company managed the catering service of a hospital, so I had the leverage to move around. So what I did, I had to think up something else to do. I started supplying people food stuff that couldn't go to the market, because I could go to the market, right? So I would post on my status, I'm going to the market, oh, do you need pepper, do you need this? They would tell me, okay, bring pepper, bring this, bring that. That's how I was selling to people. I would drive to their house, deliver to them, and collect my cash. And then when COVID stopped, everybody resumed market again. I was confused again. I said, what do I do? As an entrepreneur, you need to start thinking outside the box, and you have to stay resilient, because if you don't, one morning you just wake up and jump over the bridge, because it's not easy. It's not easy, to be honest. So I said, okay, what do I do now? I thought of my life. For some time, I was confused. I went back to the catering, but my spirit already jumped out of it. I said, okay, I was small, let me just keep doing what I'm doing. And then I got a place in Jerry where I sell barbecue fish. Like that, I was making money. Before you know, your governor came and said he wants to buy the place. What do I do again? I went back. It was frustrating, I went back. I said, for 1 year, that was all through last year, I didn't really do so much. What I did was I took out time, and then, will I say, everything that happens in your life happens for a reason. There's no coincidence. My car knocks engine in February. And now, imagine the savings that you have saved, and now you don't even have a business. You're not going to buy engine. You're not going to start fixing a car. But that period that my car knocked, it took me 2 months to get the engine and everything. I took that 2 months to sit down and think, what do I need to really do to move forward? I said I don't want to go out of food business, because everybody will eat. So I decided to stick there. So I started thinking of what next to do. Then I took up a class on food processing. And I would not tell you a lie. I don't regret it. I make my spices by myself. Fish spice, different types of spices, curry, everything. I make it myself. And I dry fishes for export and other foods. So you need to stay consistent. Somehow, you find your way on the journey. You don't figure it out from the beginning. Thank you very much.
Okay, good morning, ma. I want to ask, your line of business, I'm sure a whole lot of it are outside. So I want to ask, how do you grow your awareness differently? Do you run ads? Do you pay for influencing, or do you rely on word for mouth marketing from friends? Because I remember when I think I just finished NYSC, then I was importing from China and the rest of these countries and branding for people. But I got frustrated. You will run ads on Facebook and Instagram, and then you will not reach your target audience and the rest. So me, I got frustrated and decided to go and work for someone and source for the person. So how do you do it differently, and which type of advert will you advise?
So for me, marketing is not my strong point exactly. So I struggle with marketing, but I try to do it. One thing that works for me is referrals, because I try to serve my customers well, customer service. So I have people that say, no, if it's my food shop, trust them. Even if they make a mistake, they will refund you. So because I've had issues with customers, and I'll not tell them, don't worry, I'm actually running a loss, but I'll refund you. But with that, I've bought your loyalty. So they keep coming back. And by the time I serve it 2-3 times, I'll recover that loss of the previous one. So for me, what worked for me was like customer service, the way we serve our customers, and I ensure that the products are of quality. And that's why I'm teaching my staff. There was a day one of them went to the market, and when she came back, she didn't look at the fruit well. It was soft on one side. She was like, ma, no put on like that, you know, go, no, tell them it's a mistake. I said, no, go and buy another one. He said, but na shortage. I said, you either go and buy another one. So we had to remove that and then replace it for her. In that way, I told them that this is my standard and this is what I want. So that one speaks for me. I realized that most of the customers I haven't even done so much of ad. It's just now like this year, I want to now start exploring ads. Most of my customers came in through referrals, people that know me, my friends. They will now say, go to my food shop. You're sure of getting them. And then people will just mention you somewhere. This is it. So that's what has been working for me. But I'm beginning to explore ads right now. So I can't really tell you much about ads.
I would like to add, for ads, so there are a lot of things that go on behind the scene for ads. You don't just come up with, just snap a picture of a bag and you're posting. No. First of all, your voice over. Another thing too, the picture quality. Another thing, the offer you are giving. If somebody hears something they want, they will not hesitate, right? So when I run ads personally, like now I'm running one ad, and that ad I'm giving you a food combo. But I'm now telling you at the end that anybody that patronizes me goes with a freebie. So I'm giving you a gift. You're not just coming and just spending your money. I'm also giving you something in return. So there are a lot of things. Don't worry, later. Yeah.
Okay, and then another, okay.
Please, I just want to chip this in. I will not forget about 2 years or so ago when Emeka Ene came here. I referenced that example recently when he said, stay honest, work with integrity. Initially, it may look like you are behind. But over time, they'll say, go to, she said it's referrals. Go to foodie shop. Go to, it is something that end her that, not the ads. So if your ad is nice and I get drawn and I come and the experience is nonsense, I will tell people too. Those people now scam. You know that one travels travels faster than your ad. So I think I like what you said in terms of your customer must be satisfied. As I speak to you, my wife went somewhere, for example, to make cloth. The owner of the shop sold the fabric, and the fabric has issues. It's been months she has refused to budge. But I have a guy who makes clothes for me. He made clothes for me. I just took a picture of the cloth. Immediately, Oga, I'm sorry, please bring it back. I took it back to him. He said, I'll make another one. I have not left him till tomorrow. Nobody advertised him. And I am telling people about him. My mechanic There's almost no person who has a car who has not heard about it. And it's not ad he's doing. It is the value he's giving you. So let's look at value first. Make sure what you are adding has value. You cannot advertise what does not add value. I hope I'm making sense.
Praise the Lord. I just want to add one or two. One of the things you said, which is true and struck me, is you cannot do everything on your own. Specialize. And also you say synergize, collaborate, and partner. About the biggest job I did for 8-10 years, and I left as operations manager, was in a leasing firm. We lease, rent, and hire. In the course of it, you meet so many drivers, so many guys, you like some. What I want to say is try and pour out your knowledge yourself into one or two person. It may, I'm using the word may, come back to you. And I used to trust one of those young men around me, send him on more errands and all that. When I left the company years after, I still do that business till today. But the thing is, that guy that was a driver has grown bigger than my former company. He has fleet of cars. These our Igbo brothers. I don't know how he does it. Now, that guy, because I used to do stuff with him even when I was. Right now, I just get info. I call him. He delivers. I get paid. The only thing is that I have a client, and I talked with him. I can be in Sokoto and instruct him what to do. He will go deliver. The only thing I've done is phone calls. And that relationship had lasted for almost 18 years now. There were others. There's a time, I've told Pika about it, I lost money with, big money, with a politician. They sent the police after me. They sent militants. That guy shared the loss because I took vehicles from him and another person. We lost about 6.4. That guy lost 800, and he was the one to tell me, say, oh God, just... So when you synergize and do stuff with people that you have blessed before, it may not be directly from them. It will come back. You know, so don't walk alone. Sometimes it's the greed or the profit is too small. Just share the ideas. There's something she said and it's a bit dicey. She just keeps, and that's what you keep hearing out. You hear it everywhere. Even preachers do it. Don't share your idea. Keep it. You die alone. And you can never succeed alone. She keeps pouring out information. And that's what likely keeping the business. So partner, synergize, share with someone. It will come around.
Okay, good morning, Church. This question is direct to everyone. Anybody can answer my question. So my question is, how do you handle going into a business? And you know, business, normally you have to work with people. My mom has done business before that you will trust somebody. Like he has trusted somebody and it worked for him. But you trust somebody and they disappoint you. I have tried working with somebody and has gone down the drain because I work for somebody like, okay, handle this part of business. And then the person just turns you down. So these are things in business that you consider. How do you trust people? I know you've shared your experience with the salon business. That's where it's common with the girls and all that. So for everyone, how do you say, okay, I'm bringing someone in with this business. This is my idea. Okay, how do you handle someone to just work with you, you know, help you grow the business, or maybe this person is working for you. How do you handle all those kind of things? Trust the person. I put a little bit of trust on the person and ensure something positive out of it.
Okay, so personally, if I employ you, I tell you what I want you to do. I tell you the role you're playing. And if I see that at some point, maybe you made a mistake, honest mistake, I would correct you the first time, the second time. But trust me, you can't keep making, you will leave my place. You won't stress me. For me. And then I think there are patterns. You would see you would know someone that is not trustworthy. There are patterns. They always play this. You will see their activities. You will always see. It's just for you to be, like she said, don't be kind. Don't have a soft heart and say, okay. I had a boy, when he was doing shawarma for me, the same thing. The boy will go and sell my shawarma to every other staff. Where is my money? Madam, no worry, then go pay. I said, are you pitying these outsiders, or is me you should be pitying that you are working for? That was it, though. I had sacked him one day, and my money came back to me. So don't.
Okay, let me try and answer you. Okay, let me try and answer you. The major thing I'll say is grow before you blow. You don't wake up. One of the things about me, there's a business you bring. I don't know anything about it. I will not bother because I've experienced loss that I almost went to jail for, sincerely. In fact, thank God for lead. Thank God for PK. This is a new man. I went down, lost money. It went bad. The other time I said publicly in church, now cloth they cover shame and body. So grow before you blow. The thing I mentioned, the person that I mentioned, I've seen him do things. We've grown from somewhere before it got to the point I wanted to start. That's number one. I didn't wake up from no blues and want to start doing this, and I went to it and put money. There was a track record. Secondly, depend on friends or trusted people's referrals. We traveled the other time. My guy couldn't come through. PK just said, who knows who can give us this? He didn't go looking for it himself. So the person that finally brought that person has a relationship to that person and can track and trace the person to his village. I don't know if I'm making sense. So if you need something, you have no idea about it, and you share it, I will raise my hand and say, I know somebody. So you are now depending on my relationship with you and the trust, and I can track that person. So if I'm doing something, if I'm bringing somebody for PK, I will know the value I have for PK, and I will not just one or cock a gun to that person's head. This is my pastor, this is my guy, you must deliver. So don't work on your own to go, and like you said, gather info, ask question. One more thing, love, but be firm.
And okay. And another thing for me, there's something I was going to say, you self, Madam Higher Fire. Like, I learned something. No, because sometimes it's from the past experience, because I was too lenient with the salon. In the salon, people I should have fired quickly, but I kept pampering them like, okay, she knows how to make her, let me keep her. But attitude was zero. So before you know, she corrupted all the staff and the whole thing crumbled. So now somebody now taught me and said, you hire slowly but fire fast. So if you notice that character deficit, just tell the person to go quickly so they don't corrupt. And that's what I've been doing now. Once I notice and I give you, especially if you steal, I don't give you second chance. You go immediately. Bam. So.
Okay, I was also going to add.
Pastor says Elder must say something. The only thing I would say is that I agree with all the speakers. Yeah, there is strictly no formula about when it comes to matter of trust. Because you can see one gentle sister, one gentle brother in church. When the business is starting, everything goes well. But when money comes, so money unveils people. So that is it. But like I said, I agree with what everybody has said. Once you suspect something is going wrong, challenge the person to give him or her a chance to prove that it was a mistake. And once you prove that it wasn't a mistake, fire. That's the only way you can survive it.
Okay, sir. I was going to say there's a place for agreement. Yeah, whether it's your brother, whoever you're doing the business with, let's not forget, bring a lawyer, bring witness, have well documented just in case.
Please, can we celebrate Samoski? And I think that's one of the biggest areas of our failures as a people in Nigeria. He's my brother. He's from my village, and so on. If I tell you my story, Fela will use it to sing song. I was in church, and there's a brother who was in church with us. Things were, when you say rough, capital letter. And in the course of trying to assist him in Wisdom Chapel those days, find him here, find him there, I got to find out he's a tipper driver. I tell you, because of that guy, I went out of my way and got a tipper. In the course of it, another brother, I got to learn he had managed his own tipper in the same church. These are born again. This is not again. They are born again. And we got the tipper and I put it in both their hands. Two brothers now. One had managed his tipper and something happened and there was an accident. It was burnt, unfortunately. So he has experience. When I put it in their hands, for the next 6 weeks, I didn't see them. I didn't hear from them. How many weeks? 6 weeks. The next time they called me was to tell me that the car had broken down. That they need money to fix it. So where have you, till today, they told me how Mongo Park got to New Busa. And his canoe cover side. Then Landa Brothers. I was still soft with them. The greatest weakness you can do is tolerate nonsense. We must all learn to have zero tolerance. You see why I love Osaru, that man behind there. His tolerance for nonsense is -10. It's not 0. Once he smells it, he doesn't wait for you to exhibit it. He severs relationship. There's no conversation. And that's how businessmen, you're not a philanthropist. Understand that. So that place of I think a few things. Whatever you are going to, you must have knowledge of it. You can't walk in blind. If you do, you are setting up yourself. Because right under your nose, they will play games and you won't know. So you must have some knowledge. Number 2, you must have agreements, documented and signed. And if possible, get that guy to bring, if he's an employee or whatever, let him bring somebody to sign. One of our sons here, who got a job, is being trained in Lagos. They said, bring 2 guarantors. One must be a senior civil servant at this level. If it's a businessman, he will hand over the document, photocopy of the document of his property to them. No sentiment. If you can't bring it, go. That's how it works. Because the guys are not joking. And I'm sure they have enough experience. The truth about it is, it's about zero tolerance for the big companies that we see today. I don't think it was friendship that grew it. It was business. So there must be a firm line between business and friendship. If I'm doing business with my sibling, it's even more dangerous. It's better to sign something. Let us know what we're walking into. If you are doing business with your friend, sign something. Let us know what we are walking into. And then when you see things you do not understand, don't wave it away, confront it. And of course, if you are not comfortable, severe. Because the truth is, many of us are afraid. My wife is here. She had a girl who was working for her. The girl had her own strengths, don't get me wrong. Good strengths she had. But she was nearly poisoned. And so the issue is, if I sack this one now, how can I get another one like this one? I've said it here and I'll repeat it. Higher character, train skill. If skill is good and character is nonsense, throw it away. You can always train skill, but character, you're not a trainer. I hope that makes sense.
We have one more person here. After this one, you want to say something? After him, then
All right. Praise the Lord. Mine is same thing. In my industry, this thing you don't trust, you cannot even trust. people keep failing. People keep failing. Whether it's gospel or is the secular music industry, people keep failing. Failing contract. You sign contract. There is an exit, of course, in music contract where people can buy their contract and leave and all that. So I think people forget to put exit clauses in their contract. And most times in my industry, you know that the person must leave you. This person must leave you. There's no, you're not going to it thinking this person will stay with you for so time. Just know that there's a time frame and this person must move on. You have to accept it. Because YouTube, you're seeing millions of dollars. That person started from zero. And you think the person's head will be together after that. So for people in the music industry, we already know that this person will leave us. So there's no point trusting to the end. That's what I wanted to add.
All right. Good morning, Pastor. Good morning, church. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. I want to share my own experience in respect to our own question. When I was in school, I was into storage. Like, I buy food, store at a particular period. I actually school in the north, and I'm from the north. So during harvest, we buy it at a cheaper rate. Then during rainy season, the price gets up, so we now sell. 2021, yeah, I was trying to handle my project, doing my project, and I've made money up to 500,000 as a student then, so I felt okay, it's okay. Then what happened was like, okay, I was to go back to school. I needed some product, I needed some goods, and I get to talk with my parents. I'm like, okay, why not give this money to your uncle?
That one is uncle.
So I transferred the money to him, and I was in school. Okay, let me just focus on my project and have a lot. So I was just busy. So at the point I needed the money because I spoke with him. He said, okay, he's going to sell the goods. And okay, I called him. All right, I need the money now. How much? He said he only made 50,000 profits. Well, he's my uncle. From 500,000, and you're telling me 50,000. Okay, I now said, okay, it's okay. I need the money. I sent my account details, and it's getting to a week. I'm not seeing the money. That's reality.com. So I called again. He said, we need to talk. And from there, he gave me a whole lot of story that he went to the market after selling the goods, his phone fell, they picked the phone. What I'm trying to say is like, I think I was not careful at then, but when I just came to Port Harcourt this year, January, but I had a lot of business proposals with people. One of the key things, even pastors, one of the key things that has helped me, like, there are pastors that said, okay, we want to invest in this. If you have a good business, I want to do it. One of the best things I do is go back to the room and kneel. God, do you want me to do this? From January, I've not started anything till now. Why? Because they are good men, yes, but God has not led me. There are people coming with a lot of opportunities, like, okay, you don't have the capital, let's do OPM, that's other people's money. I said, I actually understand this, but God has not given me direction. I think one of the key things before trusting someone in business, learn to go back to God. Thank you.
Celebrate that young man, please. Help me celebrate him. Thank you.
Okay, so finally, actually that's the last one. Okay, so what I wanted to say, somebody once told me that as your business starts growing, two people you should have beside you are an accountant and a lawyer. And my friend who's a lawyer said me once, there's one agreement I almost entered into for my business is with a third guy to do so many things. So he kept pressuring me to sign the agreement. No, wait, it's a sign. So I finished reading the thing and I didn't see anything like, I wanted to click accept. Something said, wait, just stop. So that night I didn't do. I said, but I've read everything now. So the next day, I now forwarded it to her. I said, please, go through this thing for me. and I paid her for it, and I forgot. After about 3, 4 days, she was like, "What do you want to sign?" I mean, no sign that, it will just mortgage you, and in fact, you will not benefit at all. What kind of thing? I'm like, what is it? She's not saying, no, reading in between the lines, because the agreement, they prepared it and they sent it to me and the rest. And he was like, don't worry, my lawyer has been doing this for other businesses. Let's do. And I'm so grateful that I didn't say. It was when she now, how lawyers read in between the lines and the rest. So it's actually important to have an agreement and all of those things. Thank you. And then the auditors also save you a lot. So at the end of the year, my accountant saved me.
Thank you so much.
Please, can you join me to celebrate Mrs. Francisca Woman? How many think we should bring her to lead? Who thinks we should bring her to lead? Okay. You see, turn around and look at them. Praise the name of the Lord. And I think we will bring her, if possible, in November, and I'm dead serious about that. Let's just give her 1 month to breathe down. November is our last month for the year of lead, and I think it's a fantastic time to just set people up for the next year to see how you can take advantage of the economy. Please sit down. Praise the name of the Lord. I walked in and I saw Madam Francisca, and my first reaction was, I know you. And she said, yes, I used to be with First Bank. So she was in the IA. Don't know if you recognize her face. Okay, but I'm certain. The person I know is a younger version, slimmer. But it's the same person nonetheless. So I think it's been a very, very powerful session. My greatest takeaway from this session, honestly, is the fact that in every business, there are multiple opportunities. I don't know if you heard her speaking to it, that in every business, there are multiple opportunities. Many of us cry about capital. What I also heard is capital is not your obstacle. Maybe courage, maybe clarity of what to do. But she said there are women who have children, they can't go anywhere. From their home, they're still doing business. They look for who needs a service, they look for who has the service, they bring them together, they collect something. And many of us are waiting to collect the one that is boom. Oh, that's where many of us fail. If you collect it, I learned that from my father-in-law of blessed memories. He tells you collect it. He will say it was 5 naira to sell a carton of beer. 5 or 10 naira to sell a carton of beer, and he will deliver it to you. But in a day, he could sell maybe 100,000 cartons. So calculate. And then you see suddenly that it's impossible amount is generated. This industry you talked about, I think all of us will enter there. Who agrees with the last speaker? Some of us will be farming. Some will be processing. Some will be doing Uber. Some will be cooking. But you see this business, we are all entering it. But on a serious note, we really want to thank you, madam. It's been so simplistic. In fact, Elder said, what do you really do? You said many things, but what do you really do? Osaru, we're harassing you, Enterprise360, Enterprise360. Now you have done Enterprise 720. Thank you so very much. As she talked about the dryer, that's what you called it, right? The dehydrator. I looked at God's power. He was looking down. I pray you got some inspiration there. If you didn't get, I'd like to talk to you. I'm serious. But he's a very creative genius in terms of, maybe I should even introduce him. He has that creative streak in him. And he builds all kinds of things as long as it's techie. Oh yeah, he does. You may have seen those shawarma stands picture on Enterprise. That's him. He's one that built them. So I was looking at him. We need to talk. If you don't know what to do, let's discuss. I'm also a microbiologist. If it's microbiology that is bringing this kind of money. All right, so, but I see a lot. And for me, simply put, There is business you can do without being physically there every day. What I learned biggest is, do you have information? Who needs the information? And you are already in business. Madam Francisca, I'm sure you're not running away immediately. Are you? I'm sure you have about 5-10 minutes before you take off. I'd like to connect with you. Let's agree what we're going to be discussing in November. The way Blackson is looking at me. You want me to introduce that to you personally? To your son. Oh, yes. She's connected to your son. God's power. Okay, I hope it's been a blessing for every one of us. Has it been worth your time? Please tell somebody about it. I'm sure Saru has another thing up his sleeve before this year is over. I like to have, if possible, one more. And we should do more of these things. And if you've been here and you've been impacted, tell somebody who is a part of this church. Because my pain is, every day we gather together, there are opportunities to get out of where you are to go to the next level. But many of us treat it with some element of carelessness. Maybe the next time we'll say you pay 5,000 to enter. Then suddenly they'll be breaking the door to come in. And we will advertise and put Tony Elumelu's name and his picture. When you come, you'll see Ume. And if you talk, we'll say she was trained by Tony Elumelu. Abby? But on a serious note, it's been a fantastic morning. I hand back to Osaru, the convener. Oh, we can close. Thank you. Let's rise up to our feet. Who heard something this morning that inspired you? I plead with you. Elder said something to me. Elder is still my Ogatio tomorrow. A lot of regard for him. He said, do you know why I asked her to explain what she does? I said, why? He said, I thought about it. And I told her, Elder, that we will soon hold you and flog you. Because he's almost becoming that man in my village. That ideas I've nearly killed. Are you with me? So, but if something struck you this morning, please don't just roll it away. Stay on it. Please stay on it. And if you're struggling, talk with a few people. If you're still struggling for that, we can go to people like Mrs. Mume to ask her. You see what I love about her own? This is not going to Harvard. This is being in the field, being in the trenches. I have failed. I have seen the effect of failure. I have succeeded. These are the practical things I did. In my heart, I confess, I didn't know you could get grant for business. But she said something this morning that opened a new door. I thought grant is for research and for school. And you are here with me. You have not told me. I didn't ask her too. But on a serious note, please, if there's anything that struck you, don't treat it with carelessness. Determined to birth whatever struck you. You may not birth it today or tomorrow, but keep it in your view and keep researching, deepen your understanding, and let's make a push for it. I hope you know we're talking about influence this month. Who knows we're talking about influence? One of the strongest tools for influence is wealth. Who agrees with the last speaker? The Bible says there's a poor man whose wisdom delivered a city. But in the next line of that same biblical verse, it said there was a poor, wise man. That's what the Bible says. After he delivered the city, it says, the poor man. Oh, isn't it? The wise was